What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and what Pokemon you should use on your teams, and some Pokemon that you should avoid. Now with Pokemon BDSP just a few days away from releasing, I figured I would make a team building type of video to talk about some Pokemon that I feel like you should use on your team, and some Pokemon that I feel like wouldn't be the best, as I'm sure for a lot of you guys, maybe this might be your first time playing through the Generation 4 games or like the Sinnoh games, and you might have not started with the Sinnoh games or ever played them before. Maybe you just skipped on them, or maybe you started with like the X and Y games or Gen 7, so maybe a lot of you are going to be experiencing Sinnoh. And for me as a kid, Generation 4 with like Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver was probably the generation that I invested the most time into. Like, you'd be surprised how many times I played through Platinum and Heart Gold Soul Silver as a kid, so I've used a lot of different Pokemon and a lot of different team setups, and I feel like I have a good idea of which Pokemon I feel like would be the best for people to use playing these games for the first time. Now of course, this is just purely my opinion. Who am I to tell you exactly which Pokemon you're allowed to use and which Pokemon you can't? So if you do see your favorite Pokemon here and I mentioned that you shouldn't use them, that doesn't mean you can't. Obviously, you can still use whatever Pokemon you desire. I'm just trying to help you out and try to pick which Pokemon I feel like would definitely make your adventure the easiest. Now real quick before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I'm recently partnered with Best Buy, and so there will be some links below in the description to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the Double Pack, and even Pokemon Legends Arceus. If you click those links and then buy from there, you can really support me and the channel a lot, so I would really appreciate it. And Best Buy is really awesome because they'll actually send you the game the day that it comes out. I know for like Amazon, if you want to receive the game day one, you gotta be like a Prime member. You don't have to do that for Best Buy, and they'll even give you free shipping. So if you really want to get the games the best possible way and support me and the channel a lot, I would really appreciate it if you buy the games clicking those links. Alright, so in terms of how this is going to go, I'm basically just going to talk about a few important types in the beginning and talking about which are the best possible options to use for that typing, and then later in the video I'll just talk about some general Pokemon that I think would be pretty nice to use and some Pokemon that you should avoid. Alright, so the first typing that we've got here is the grass type, and of course one of your options right away at the start of the game is just from your starter Pokemon. So if you end up picking Turtwig, you can later then get Torterra, and Torterra is a very strong Pokemon to use and a great grass type to have. It's mainly a physical attacker, so you can teach it moves like Wood Hammer and Earthquake and Stone Edge, so it's a very good Pokemon to include. But if you're not going to be picking Torterra, another grass type Pokemon that you could use is Roserade, and Roserade's really nice because you can get a Bidoof extremely early into the game, even right before the first gym. You can get it as soon as you arrive in Jubilife City and go a little bit forward into the route in front of you and encounter a Bidoof there, so it's a pretty easy Pokemon to obtain, and Roserade is pretty nice. Some other options that are also pretty nice for grass type Pokemon include Tangrowth and Leafeon. These are Pokemon that you could also get pretty early now, I think, using the Pokemon hideaways. Tangela used to be a Pokemon that you couldn't get until like around the 5th gym because you had to wait till you got to the Safari Zone or like the Great Marsh area in order to encounter it. But I feel like now with the underground and like the Pokemon hideaways, a lot of these Pokemon like Eevee as well as Tangela can be encountered pretty early. Now for grass Pokemon that you should avoid, the ones that I've got here are Cherrim, Wormadam, Abomasnow, and Carnivine. Now these are some pretty nice grass type Pokemon, but the reason that you should avoid them is because they're not really just all that powerful. Cherrim, for example, is just really nice to have in its sunlight form, and it's really just not that powerful of a Pokemon. It doesn't really get access to that many moves. Carnivine is also a pretty weak Pokemon. I know James has one that's kind of funny, but really it's just not a strong Pokemon to use, and it just doesn't get access to that many moves. Plus I think you don't really even get to find one until pretty late into the game, so it's just a Pokemon that you don't want to use. Wormadam, being a bug and grass type Pokemon, is just weak to a lot of stuff like flying, 4 times weak to flying and fire, so it's just not a really nice Pokemon to have. And Abomasnow, despite looking really cool, you don't encounter Snover till kind of late into the game, and it's just 4 times weak to fire and not really that strong of a Pokemon. Moving into fire types, some really good options that you have here is of course your starter Pokemon. If you decide to pick Chimchar, Infernape is a very nice fire type Pokemon to have, but some other options that you've got here now are Magmortar and Houndoom, which both of these are Pokemon now that I feel like you can encounter pretty early using the Pokemon hideaways. Both of them are pretty nice special attackers. Houndoom you can teach moves like Dark Pulse and Shadow Ball, and Magmortar can learn other moves like Psychic and Thunderbolt, which give you some pretty good coverage. Now a fire Pokemon that I feel like you should avoid using is Rapidash. You can encounter Ponyta very early into the game, but the thing is Ponyta doesn't evolve until level 40, and that's a really long time that you have to keep a Ponyta, and eventually after a little bit the Ponyta is just not going to be able to take moves from kind of mid-evolved Pokemon like Luxio and Staravia that you're just going to be fighting off against, and having to get Ponyta to level 40 to evolve basically means you're going to have to wait around like the 6th gym, right around that area when everything is going to be like level 40-ish and 41, so to basically raise a Ponyta that's going to be kind of frail all the way from level 7 to 40 is kind of a rough challenge, and I don't really feel like it's worth it, but if you really want to use Ponyta, you can definitely try to do so. Now with water types, of course one of your options is Empoleon if you decide on picking Piplup, but some other water types that you could use include Floatzel, and Buizel's a Pokemon you can encounter very early into the game, and Buizel's actually one of my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon, so Floatzel's pretty nice, it's a good physical Pokemon, you can teach it moves like Ice Fang and Waterfall. Gastrodon is also a pretty good water type Pokemon to include. You can get Shellos very early into the game, and Gastrodon's pretty nice because it's kind of slow, but it's also pretty bulky, so you're going to be able to tank a pretty good amount of hits, and you can still teach it some good moves like Surf and Ice Beam. Now another really good water type Pokemon to use is the one that's used by Champion Cynthia herself, and that is Milotic, but it is kind of a challenge in getting one. Once you do get your Feebas, you're really going to have to level up its beauty a lot, and I think you can do this by giving it Poffins and things like that, but once you finally level up its beauty and then evolve it, you can get Milotic, which is a very strong Pokemon to have. It's pretty bulky, so it'll survive a lot of stuff, and you can teach it some really hard-hitting moves like Mirror Coat, Ice Beam, and Surf. Now some water Pokemon that you should avoid using include Whiscash, Azumarill, Lumineon, and Mantine. All of these Pokemon are just not really all that good, and I feel like you really wouldn't gain a lot of value adding them to your team. Whiscash, for example, is just 4 times weak to grass, and I don't really think it's that strong of a Pokemon. Azumarill also isn't really all that good to use either. I mean, it can get huge power, which really is the only way to make it good. If your Azumarill doesn't even have the ability huge power, it's just going to be very frail, and it's not going to be able to hit that hard. Lumineon itself just looks like a really cool Pokemon. I like the design for it, but it's just not really that strong of a Pokemon, and you can't really teach it a lot of good moves. And then Mantine, for example, it's also just 4 times weak to Electric, and just not really that good of a Pokemon. If you really want to use a Water and Flying type, at that point I would just recommend you use Gyarados. Now another typing that I've got here is the electric type, and for electric Pokemon you've got some pretty nice options. One of them is Luxray, and literally right after the catching tutorial happens with Dawn, you can encounter Shinx, and so this is a very easy Pokemon to get on your team. And Luxray does hit pretty hard with some powerful electric type moves, so you've got that as an option. You've also got Electivire, which is a very nice physical attacking electric Pokemon. You can teach it moves like Thunder Punch and Cross Chop, so that's also really good. And then you've also got Magnezone, which is a Pokemon that you can get, and you can teach it moves like Flash Cannon and Thunderbolt, so it's also a pretty nice bulky Pokemon to include. Now for an electric Pokemon that you shouldn't use, I've got Pachirisu here, and some of you guys might say, well, didn't somebody win a world championship using Pachirisu? And that is true, but the thing about that was very situational and an extremely intelligent player, and using it in competitive battle like that with double battles, it was kind of made in a very nice strategic team where Pachirisu was really kind of getting the best possible benefits with other team members, so really the player just kind of coordinated really well to using Pachirisu. But in terms of just having a main adventure in the game, which is mostly going to be single battles, I just don't think Pachirisu is really all that strong of a Pokemon to include, and it's most likely just going to be taking a lot of hard hits and most likely fainting. Alright, so those are basically the main typings that a lot of people really like to include on their teams, but now we've just got a list here of some general Pokemon that I feel like would be nice, and so the first one that I've got here is Spirittune. Now back in the original Gen 4 games before the fairy typing existed, Spirittune was really cool because it actually didn't have any weaknesses, and it was just a very nice Pokemon to have, but it was extremely difficult in order to get a Spirittune because the way to get it was you actually had to go underground and talk to 32 different people, and because of that, a lot of people just didn't have 32 friends with the game to talk to underground. I didn't even have 32 friends in general, to be honest with you guys. I mainly just had like a group of 8 friends that I always played Pokemon and things like that with, so I just didn't have that many friends, so a lot of people just missed out on getting this Pokemon, but it's going to be much easier now because there are online capabilities with the underground inside of Pokemon BDSP, so you're really going to be able to talk to people very early, and if you do need help getting any Pokemon like with these trade evolutions like for Electivire and Magmortar and other Pokemon as well, you can definitely join my Discord server. We've got an amazing community of people that are just really nice, and there's going to be a lot of people in there who are going to be playing Pokemon BDSP and helping each other out, so if you do want to get some Pokemon, you can definitely click the link below in the description and join from there. But yeah, having Spiritomb is definitely a pretty nice Pokemon to have, but some other Pokemon include Lucario. Of course, Lucario is a pretty standard Pokemon to have as well. You're going to obtain it kind of late into the game after like the 6th gym, but you're going to get it on, I think, Iron Island, where a trainer named Riley is going to give it to you in like a baby egg. So you're basically going to get a baby Riolu at level 1, but you can level it up and get it into a Lucario, and Lucario is just a very strong Pokemon to have with a lot of different type coverage. You can teach it moves like Psychic and Flash Cannon and Aura Sphere, and you can even teach it moves like Dragon Pulse, so it's just a very nice Pokemon to have. But some other options include Pokemon like Staraptor, where you can literally get Starly very early into the game, and it's just a very nice, strong hitting physical Pokemon to have. Staraptor can learn moves like Close Combat and Brave Bird, so it's a pretty nice Pokemon to have. You've also got Garchomp, where you can encounter a Gible, I think right before the 3rd gym, in a cave on your way there, so you can encounter Gible. It does take a little while to evolve it into Garchomp because you do have to kind of raise it a lot, but Gible is a pretty nice Pokemon to include as well. And then you've also got another one of my my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon, which is Gallade. Gallade is also a pretty nice Pokemon to have. It's a nice hitting, physical attacking Pokemon, so you can teach it moves like Drain Punch and Psycho Cut, and it's a pretty nice Pokemon to have. Now for other Pokemon that you should avoid, mainly some of the Pokemon that I've got here are some of the bug Pokemon. I've got Mothim here, Vespiquen, Kricketune. These are just Pokemon that don't really hit that hard and don't get access to that many good moves, and they're just not really that strong, so I don't really recommend using them. Lopunny is also a Pokemon that I feel like is kind of difficult to get. If you guys didn't know, Baniri is actually a Pokemon that you're always going to catch with the most minimum friendship possible, and in order to get a Lopunny, you basically have to get it to max friendship, so you're really going to have to be leveling up its friendship a lot to finally get it there, and I just don't think Lopunny is really that strong of a Pokemon either. Mega Lopunny is really nice to have, but there's no Mega Evolutions in this game, so I just don't think it's that valid of a Pokemon to use. Another one is also Medicham. It just doesn't really get access to that many good moves, and I just think that there's some other Psychic Pokemon that are better to use, like Alakazam or Gardevoir or Gallade, so you've got other options. And so yeah, there you go guys, those are my recommendations for which Pokemon I think would be the best to use in Pokemon BDSP. Like I said, these are just kind of my opinions and recommendations for which I think would be the best to help you on your adventure. In the end, of course, it's up to you to decide which Pokemon you want to use. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then definitely be sure to click that like button, and also comment down below and let me know how you guys feel about this. Are you guys going to be using any of these Pokemon on your team? What is your team going to be for these games? Definitely be sure to comment it down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.